know what? Your suicide rates are starting to mirror your friends in the IDF. Probably higher than reported. Your suicide rate. No, that's another underreported statistic, and I don't feel bad for you at all.
Trump, he wants this verbal abuse to ensue from the people at the megaphones. My sense is if you actually oppose fascists, the last thing you should do is give them exactly what they want. And that's what these people are doing.
You want to see what real independent journalism funded by the people for the people looks like?
You ever heard a story like this in America?
You're looking at it.
Congratulations for always being somewhere where mainstream media is not.
Flint, Michigan.
See you in Nevada.
Thanks to people like you, we can get the truth. Corporate media, they've been lying to us for years, and you're going straight to the people.
You are the man. I'm glad you're here.
For as low as 16 cents a day, you'll keep us on the ground, covering the important stories the corporate media covers up.
What I have learned in talking to all you fucking idiots.
Do you think this way of protesting actually helps or hurts? And if it hurts, what do you think should be the way? Let us know in the comment, but first, listen to this activist who was arrested filming these footage.
I was really only at the protest for about 15 minutes until I was arrested. I arrived and walked up to near where the facility was, and there was a line of protesters along the FAFO blue line. Eventually, 15 minutes later, the officers came out to create space for a vehicle to come through. And as they were coming back in, there wasn't any shouting or shoving or arresting happening, but all of a sudden, me and one other man were yanked behind the lines, put in handcuffs, and taken into the facility. I didn't know why I was arrested. I was behaving peacefully. Eventually, I was able to talk to my arresting officer, and I learned why I was arrested. It was that part of, there was sidewalk going this way, sidewalk going this way. I was a few feet onto this sidewalk, and it was federal property. And there was an announcement made over intercom that had said a number of things, but there was anybody who is on federal property is subject to arrest. Now, I did hear that part. I didn't hear the other 80% of the announcement.
This is the federal protection. I started when I was talking. Is it something I said? Is it something I said? I hear you. Shut the fuck up. I can't hear you. Shut the fuck up.
Anyone to include the press trespassing on federal property is subject to arrest.
How about I struck a nerve? Did I strike a nerve with you?
There's lots of people, peaceful protesters and onlookers, a bunch of inflatable, dragons and frogs, etc., as well as there were people clad in all black and wielding megaphones who were right on the front line facing the officers, taunting their dick sizes, which was kind of an enduring motif of the night. There was a lot of that. When I was watching this, my stomach began to sink. It was, in my sense, like really clearly unhelpful. The line that kept coming to me was, petulance is not resistance. We have a president right now who is, you might say, he's chomping at the bit to invoke the Insurrection Act. He's calling Portlanders insurrectionists. He keeps using the term insurrection. Stephen Miller has called for invoking the Insurrection Act. They're trying to find something. And they're trying to invoke something by sending troops and antagonistic energy into cities that bitterly oppose them. Trump, he wants this verbal abuse to ensue from the people at the megaphones. It creates a very polarized situation. He wants the most polarized particles of Portland to keep colliding unchecked in this white-hot one-block cauldron until violence ignites. For when it does, even if it's but a small flame that flickers briefly, the media machine will hone in on it like the Eye of Sauron and broadcast it nationally. My sense is if you actually oppose fascists, the last thing you should do is give them exactly what they want. And that's what these people are doing. And I don't know what to do about it right now, but at least I want to share that I believe this is wrong. And, I got talking to one of the officers inside who was taking my mugshot. And told him why I was there, and shared that I'm deeply opposed to the direction that Trump is taking this country. I'm concerned about ISIS tactics, and I'm also quite opposed to the people who are wielding the megaphones and behaving in this way. For again, inherently wrong and strategically unhelpful. And he was positively impacted by this. He said he respects that. And agrees that, he wants people to protest, for people to have the freedom to do that and express their concerns, but not in a way that is unhelpful for everyone. And in that way, we did agree.
You really calmly approach the whole event, and simultaneously we've spoken to folks who have taken a lot more extreme of an approach to like call for actual violence. I can also kind of see where they come from, given my own mom. She was a revolutionist in Vietnam. She fought the French and she fought the Americans. So what do you have to say to folks who really at this point firmly believe that peace is not an option when opposing a regime that is physically sending troops, untrained troops, to terrorize across the country?
I'm angry too. What we're seeing happening across our country is very not okay. We have an authoritarian regime that is progressing its reaches into every American institution and progressively into every American city, who are using militaristic tactics like, raids onto apartments with helicopters and tactical gear, ripping apart families that have been nothing but peaceful and contributive to our society for decades, and pulling women out of their cars that are picking up their children at the line in front of an elementary school. It's unacceptable, and it requires anger. We have righteous anger, and it belongs. But when it turns into corrosive contempt, and we wield the spiky club of dehumanization and turn ourselves into belligerent mobs, there's nothing good that comes from that. That is, it won't actually stop the progressive encroachment, but it gives propaganda fodder to the extremists. It gives them exactly what they want and gives them the justification, at least in the eyes of people who are watching it from afar on TV, to further progress in their claiming of control.